Be prepared. It's going to be really fast, so don't blink or anything. You'll miss it.
Hi guys, as always, this is Blazing Angel, and here I am, a little bit different video style this time. This is real life, because I was at Jet Propulsion Laboratories in California recently, and I got a chance to go to the Mars Yard at JPL and catch this video of the vehicle systems testbed. And I'll talk to you more in a second about what's going on here. But first, just a little bit of background. I was with a group of high school students who got to go here, and we were led around by Clara and Bobby, who Clara named Curiosity actually, and Bobby might be better known to you as Mohawk Guy of great fame from the Curiosity landing. But they're back there. And it was really cool to have this opportunity, but they offered to let us see the test rover that they use, which is right here. Now there are two rovers that are used currently at the Mars Yard, as it's called. One of them is the one you see ahead of you, like I said, the VSTB, but there's another one behind me, which you should see here in a second, called the Scarecrow, which they use for driving tests. While this one does drive, they use it more for instrumentation checks, science checks. They use it to check and see if they can drill a rock properly based upon its orientation. It has all of the components of the Mars rover with the exception of the laser and the radioisotope thermal generator, or whatever, the RTG on the back of it.
Can you miss it?
It is tethered to a grounded power supply, so they can do that. And usually it takes several hours for them to do any operations, but for our group, they were kind enough, to drive it out and let us look at it. And the main reason they drove it out is because we couldn't go back in there, because there's a lovely yellow line on the inside that's like an no static electricity zone or something. I'm not sure what it was. There was a sign about it, but so they brought it out, and it's pretty cool. Later in the day, they were going to do a drilling test on a piece of limestone with the arm. I asked why they were using limestone, but I lost that audio when I tried to move the video file off of my cell phone. I'm sorry. But the explanation is that they just want to test different types of rock with the drilling arm, just to make sure that they can. And while there is no limestone on Mars, or at least that we've found yet, because that would be sort of one of those dead giveaways of, hey, there's life here. It is just a test of softer rock, because soft rock crumbles under the drill, whereas hard rock resists the drill a little bit more, and each one presents its challenges to the drill on the rover, which is pretty cool to hear them talk about. So they test it all. You can see the six-sided but more triangular shaped antenna sticking out there. That's used to communicate with satellites, and he also was explaining about that, once again on the lost audio. Steering is actually very fascinating. As you can see, there's a pivot point on this wheel. This is on each of the four corner wheels, and the rover can turn 360 degrees while pivoting on its middle wheels. They don't even have to lift them up. But at the same time, the double buggy carriage type suspension that they use, that is also motorized so that they can lift their wheels up to go over rocks. Excuse me, and I thought that was pretty cool to find out too. So as you can see here, they're using that tether to power the rover instead of the reactor, which I thought was probably a good idea. You know, no sense in having high amounts of radioactive material around everybody. Yeah, so this is the rover. I'm just going to kind of pan around it. I'm going to go to the other side here in a second. But I was incredibly grateful to have the opportunity to meet these people. We did a couple other cool things. We got a chance to go to Edwards Air Force Base. We went to the spacecraft assembly facility at JPL. We also got to see the mission control room at JPL. It was really, really nifty to see how they had all their antennas hooked up to the Deep Space Network. I'm not sure if it was actually like anything technical, but they had a really cool like computer monitor set up on it that was really nifty to see. I might insert some pictures here after I get done with this audio. You'll either see a picture or there will be an Imgur link beside this that will direct you towards some additional media. In addition to that, I'm going to get up and kind of walk around this, so if you start seeing people's heads, just ignore it. Those are some of my friends from our group. Here's the kind of the back portion. The wheels are supposedly $100,000 wheels for a set of them. They're a single piece of aluminum, and if I get a chance to look inside of one, I will. But it's really cool that it's kind of like a half circle. I'm not sure if I got bit footage of this, but it's like a bunch of half circles made out of stiff wire that's kind of square shaped, and it curves back against itself before touching the edge of the wheel. It's pretty nifty. So that's where the reactor would be, is that kind of greenish yellow edged metal, and then just kind of walk around it. I personally think they need a cooler name than the VSTB, but hey, if they want to use an acronym instead of a cool name, who am I to judge? Sorry for the super shaky footage. Like I said, I was doing this on my cell phone. There you can see in the wheels, you can kind of see what I was talking about with that half circle shape bent against itself. There's the mast with the camera. You can also see the turret at the end of the arm. Back in that shed you just kind of saw at the right side of the footage, that's where they keep the scarecrow. We'll get a better view of it here in a second. As you walk around the front of the rover, it looks very cool. It's actually quite big, like really quite big. This side looks pretty similar to the other side. There's no antenna on this side or anything. Once again, you can kind of see where the reactor should have